And say the nuclear situation there is getting worse after the cooling system has failed at several reactors. Dave Malkoff here now to explain the science behind the nuclear meltdown and the serious danger residents in Japan are facing.
Yeah, you got to kind of know how nuclear reactors work. And as you know, when you split the atom, it creates a ton of energy, a whole lot of energy from splitting that atom. So if you did that out in nature, it would just be a chain reaction. It would take over, and it would just keep on getting bigger and bigger. But this doesn't happen in nature. It actually happens right inside the nuclear core here. So they keep it contained inside the nuclear core, and this is where the nuclear reaction goes off. It heats up water. This turbines spin because of the steam that's created by the heating up of the water inside here. But inside the nuclear power plant, they have a coolant system, and this core is inside the coolant system. And inside here, it's about 500 degrees, but outside, it's cool and it's safe for all the nuclear power plant workers to be inside the power plant. So there's heat inside here, but there's cool and safety outside there. But problem is that this coolant that's protecting everybody is actually needs a power source. It needs an outside power source, and right now that power source is unplugged because of the tsunami. They don't have the power source running there. So basically, if this boils off, then you have the nuclear reactor just getting hotter and hotter. It's getting 3, 4, 5 times hotter, even more than that in some cases. So you have this protection around here. And what's happening inside here is the nuclear fuel rods are getting very hot, and it could actually crack the containment outside. If it cracks the containment, then the underground water could have nuclear fuel go out, or the nuclear water can go into the underground water source, or it can go out into the atmosphere. You can have radiation coming out of there. So they're hoping that even if the things are melting inside here, that the outside will not crack. And that's what they're hoping right now. The Tokyo Power Company is making sure that they have some kind of power supply, a backup power supply that's just not enough.
They've got a primary source of cooling that's failed, a secondary source that's failed, and now the tertiary source, the battery power, lasts a finite amount of time. Once that dies, an hour later, all of this stuff melts. That's the time race they're up against.
Yeah, so you can't cool this down. Even if you turn off the reactor, the thing is that these spent nuclear fuel rods, they stay hot for centuries in some cases, because you have to put those spent nuclear fuel rods somewhere, maybe Yucca Mountain or wherever they would put those spent nuclear fuel rods. They do not cool down immediately when you turn off the reactor.
There's the explainer for laymen such as you and me. Dave Malkoff, thanks for your time. Over